Morning to my huge amount of viewers. Done a few extra things. Done different battery clamp mounts, which the original whole ones just bolt up onto the side, and then you got the two extra terminals on both sides. Got the fan shroud cover on, not the fan. Not sure if I'll be able to even fit the fan in there. May still have to take this back out, but we'll see. Got the air box. Now, I did have the other air box that I reconditioned, but it's the actual shroud itself doesn't fit. Where did I put that? Oh, it's over there. It's one that has the vent that comes a bit higher. I think that's off the EB, but they look the same when you grab them, but they're not. So that vent goes down into that circular section of the plastic. Fits perfect. So anyway, I've mounted one horn, two horns, and three horns. And until the guard's on here, won't have a fourth one until then, but oh my goodness, the loudness. I'm not going to do it now at the moment, but wow, it's loud. Okay, what else have I done? I have mounted the two fuel pipes. This one's still dusty because I haven't cleaned this one. This is still from right back when I first started. But yeah, the fuel lines are done. I've mounted both engine mounts. Both engine mounts are done. Yeah, obviously you've seen the water lines ran. I've put a little bit of coolant in there, but I've got to get some concentrated. Don't use the, if you can help it, don't pay for water with premix, because that's what you're paying for. Premix stuff is you're paying half of it for water, so don't pay for it. Also put the bracket that holds the vacuum hose from the brake booster. I ripped off the accelerator cable. I did get one that looked, well, the EBs have a similar engine, but the actual accelerator cable's slightly longer, so can't use that. I've also, because these brand new Ford OEM ones, these are over 200 bucks for these bottles, for getting expensive things. It didn't come with a sensor, so I got a sensor for it. Put that all in. What else have I done? Yeah, pretty much all around here. I've done all the lines. I'm keeping, yes. What can I do for you, huh? What? I've kept the main hose off the intake for when it get ready to start, because it's good to, even if it finds a bit of trouble starting, you can put that same as in my Ambo, you can put the start your bastard and get it going, yeah, activating. So yeah, but all the lines, everything's done under there, everything's nice and neat, everything's bolted down. Airbox looks really good, all mounted in nice and strong. I was going to say something. Yeah, so what I've got pretty much left is just the pollution and like airline thingos that are in this corner. They're a little bit funny, so I've still got to muck around with those. What? What? You want to say meow again? Go on. Yeah, I thought you would. Sounds a bit squeaky. Yep. You want to say again? Go on. Go on. You gonna meow? You gonna meow? No. Go on, try with the camera now. Yeah. What else have I got? Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up at the moment. I checked my hazard lights, they're all working, all the dash lights are now working. It's amazing how much, like when you start connecting the loom back to the engine, because this car never went when I got this. everything was in turmoil. If you look at the very early videos, oh my goodness, everything's been done. So even to have the horn sound was grouse to hear, because when you have something that was not going and looked like it was left in the wreckers for a few years, yeah, it's bringing something like that feeling of you bringing it back to life. So it's really a really positive feeling that you feel when you're doing this sort of thing. So that's where I'm up to on the Divvy. So my next thing is, I got to sort out those lines, because those lines, obviously with your controls inside your car, when you turn it from face to the window vent and all that sort of thing, that's what that controls. Opens up your heater box, your heater tap, all that sort of stuff. That's what all those lines do. So I'm this close from getting this started. So I've got to be getting into that very soon, and I've got to get the fuel pump that I got for the Ambo when I was draining the fuel. If you looked at any of my other videos, I just knocked the screen. Yeah, so I've got to, because that fuel's been sitting in there for a fair while. So I want to drain that. I can still hear the pump. The pump primes, which is really good. That's good to hear that pump priming. I don't know how bad it is in there, but when I do the fuel drain, I've got to obviously check the filter and everything else. And I mean, even if the pump does go, I'll probably replace it just to know that it's got a nice new fresh pump. And yeah, all the gasket and all that, not gasket, but a filter on it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. Okay, it's putting the belts on time for the Divvy engine. This was a bit of a muck around at the different chain stores as far as auto parts, so Auto Barn, Super Cheap, Ripco, Bursons, all that sort of stuff, right? These more come under the more modern engine. That's not even a word. More modern engine, EBs, etc. So these engines come with 3 belts. It's not one big one. It's not 2 belts. It's 3 belts. The belt IDs are 11A 1195, which is your fan. 5PK 915. RB is just their own brand, but that's for the aircon. And your alternator is your 3PK 895. So far, and if I've seen people asking questions on forums, which way they go. The alternator one goes around the alternator, goes under this one. I'm always forgetting names, damn it. Yeah, that. And yeah, so it goes under it, and then around the very back part of the balancer, and just back around underneath. The next one being the fan, that goes in the middle part here, goes up to the fan, and you can adjust to get it on by moving the alternator back, which is 2 bolts, and then you got to tension it. Yep. And then that just pretty much does a full circle. The last one is this one, which I've taken off. Pulley, that's the word. Pulley. Okay, and the next pulley, which is your last one, which is more of a knobby tyre on a motorbike looking, rather than the railway track types. That goes on your last one, which you can see it's not ribbed in there. So there goes on to another non-ribbed one, which again on another pulley is non-ribbed. I think that's what they call it, non-ribbed. Yeah, so that's next. So I'll do that next, and then I'll show you the belts all on. Okay, so all 3 belts are now on. So this one practically goes off your power steering onto another pulley. I've got to tighten that. These are adjustable, it looks like, because this still feels not exactly more tighter, but there is a gap up here, so this may be able to be pulled up, but it looks like it's got some special bolt for that one, so I'm going to have to look into that. But it goes right down to your main balancer down the bottom and all the way up. So, but on the last one, you can't go wrong with this one, especially because It's the only one that's got the knobbies on it, and they're all nice and smooth inside. So 3 belts. My ambulance V6 Commodore, 1 big belt. So I guess this gives you maybe a slight advantage. If one belt breaks, you can probably still get home. Anyway, unless it kills your fan and then you overheat. But that's good, all belts are on. More progress, I like it. Just ignore my thing about that centre. They're like the 16-point nuts, but it's actually the big nut. So it was a 15-16, big one. And it's got like an adjuster behind there that locks into place when it's tight, as far as tightening the bolt up for where the pulley doesn't slip. But got good tension now, and all belts are on. So next thing is the fan and the fan shroud to go on. Really good news. That's grouse. Very good. Hey, we're back with good news. Got the shroud on and the fan in place. Everything's nice and tight, nice clean brand new looking fan. If you looked at my previous video, the shroud in. I can see why they have a protection plate, which runs nice and smooth in there. Very exciting times. Wow, very good. There she goes. Fan shroud in. Perfect. Water level, and you can see the water level. Try and have a look at some of these Fords of this year of 93, between 93 and 96. If they haven't been replaced, have a look at the bottles, because you can't see inside of them most of the time. Unreal. And there goes that. How do you like that for an ending? Well, I thought I'd just do an update on how long it's been practically from when I first started on the Divvy. A long time since it's been outside the garage in itself, but I pulled it out so I want to re-establish my garage a little bit. I got stuff everywhere. It looks a mess. I don't like it. But I want to, because this garage is a small garage, not small, but it's bigger than a unit garage, of course. But what I want to do is put the Divvy on this angle, so I can then start working on the interior more as soon as this engine starts, and that way I can open the doors nice and wide rather than be close to a brick wall. So this is what the Divvy looks like. Oh, 1 second. Let's get that door handle off the top. That looks a bit funny. Yeah, so that's what the Divvy looks like. Outside. Hasn't seen sunlight for such a long time. Long time. There's Ratchet, my ambulance. There's me. I don't really get on the camera much, not really worried about that side of things. But it's really good to see it outside. It's been so long. So I thought I'd just do a small video to attach to the other ones that I'm going to upload very soon. There she is, with all its glory. She'll look so different once she's painted. Oof. Yeah, so, and like I was saying, I think in a very earlier video, you can always tell a Divvy van most of the time by the air vents on the top. These are what they made after the XF fiberglass air vents, which I was just going like this and just, I didn't know what they had on these, but I've learnt now that the XF had the steel ones, which I have, where are they? I have picked up. Just turn this down so I don't get music copyright, which is unfair, especially when it's on the radio. So these are steel versions. Nice metal ones, and in very good nick. So these are steel, so I'm replacing my fiberglass ones later on with steel ones. They're a classic looking car, these ones, especially when you do see them with the cage in them. I've also got the cam lock that goes in between the divides. I've put holes prior to paint of where they will be fitted, but it has a cam lock. And if anyone doesn't know what a cam lock looks like, it should be somewhere in there. 1 second. I've got a cam lock somewhere under all this stuff. Might be a little bit hard to find because I've been messing around. Oh, here we are. Let me just grab this for a second. So they made 2 different styles of cam locks. There was a short version, which I've got, and they've got, maybe people were starting to kick them open too much, and then they had a real long one for most of the door. So that's an original police cam lock, which will sit something like that, where it locks in and goes down and locks on. So that's, yeah, let's put that down for a second. Yeah. She looks good. Looks grouse out. Very dusty. Look how dusty I've got the roof just from sitting in the garage. Very dusty. And this is I've put rust converter. It's only got very small surface rust on this one, which is good. But that's all this brownie stuff is a rust converter, so it doesn't get any worse than it was when I first got it. So I put it on everything. Any sort of surface rusty areas, just while the build takes place. That's grouse. Alright, we'll end it there.